unattractive women have you slept with?
No, loads, because I've done a lot out there.
So
like most guys, I'll be real with you, most guys that have slept with a lot of women, they don't want to talk about.
Hello and welcome into this new video. So many women have asked me why high-value men will sleep with unattractive women. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 reasons why men sleep with unattractive women, and make sure that you stick until the end of the video, where I'm going to disclose a scientific finding that is going to change the way you look at relationships. First of all, men do not like headache. Men are actually quite lazy. The higher you go in a dating pool for men, the harder it becomes. And the more complicated it is to date attractive women, because they become more and more demanding. At the end of the day, when you are dating very attractive women, you need to bring a lot to the table. And you know, men are not that complicated. And this is why it's not surprising to see men that are actually quite successful sometimes sleeping with women that are actually average. It's very common, especially in the movies, you will have this type of scenario where the CEO will be dating the secretary that is actually an attractive woman, but not a top tier woman. At the end of the day, men tend to want to spread their seeds. It's a very need according to evolutionary psychology books. And that's going to increase their reproductive success. On the other side, women run a much higher risk to have sexual relationship with different partners, including sexually transmitted diseases and also unwanted pregnancies. Secondly, men have 2 different modes. One mode when they are long-term and one mode when they are short-term. Men are very happy and easy to identify a woman, and within the first 2 or 3 dates, they will know exactly if she's long-term potential or not, or if she's only short-term. Unfortunately, a lot of women that are identified as short-term believe that they can secure the man because he's actually spending time with them or because maybe he's sleeping with them. At the end of the day, the man knows exactly the type of woman that he will marry and the type of woman that he will not marry. A lot of men, for example, sportmen, NFL player, NBA players, they will sleep with OnlyFans model or maybe porn star. But in their head, they know for a fact they will not marry this type of woman. And that gives the impression that women can secure this type of men and they become more and more delusional. A few years ago, I was actually on my Instagram sharing interesting videos and also pictures of the different restaurants that I'm going to. And at some point, I received a ping from a woman and we started to engage in a conversation. It was a bit of back and forth. And that was interesting. And then I asked her, oh, do you want to go for a drink? On a date, for example. And she comes back and says, only if you take me to one of the Michelin star restaurants. Obviously, I rejected, I refused. But that shows the type of delusion a lot of women have. They are average. They think that they can get a man on the first date to take them to a Michelin star restaurant. And if she dares to ask this type of questions, is because potentially other men have responded positively to this type of queries. And this is why as a man, even if you have money, never lead with your money. If you're getting value in this video, smash the like button and subscribe for more similar content. Number 3, it is actually quite hard to sleep with attractive women. The vast majority of men are actually invisible to the majority of women. And it is very visible on the dating app statistics. The vast majority of men, 80%, will not be selected by half of the women. And the more you look at it, the more it's complicated. Because today, hypergamy is on steroids. Women are exposed to more and more successful men, and they want to secure this type of men. The reality is that even the high-value men today, on their way to success, on their journey to being successful, will sleep with an attractive woman. And even when they get to the top, to secure an attractive woman, it's quite complicated. You have to invest a lot of your time, a lot of your money, and a lot of men do not have the patience for that. And this is why they will not pursue this type of woman anymore. And you will see a lot of videos online where men actually recommend not to go for the 9s and the 10s. They say, oh, my wife is going to be a 7 or 8 because I cannot deal with the 9 and the 10s anymore. They are just way too demanding. Because at the end of the day, these women, like even the average woman, are looking for men that are confident, that are successful, that are ambitious, that have wealth, that are smart, physically in shape, and funny as well, and so many other things. Only a very small subset of men can address these requirements. Number 4, an attractive woman doesn't mean that she's high value. There's a bit of a confusion between what a high value woman is and what an attractive woman is. Obviously, the physical appearance of a woman is very critical in terms of her value. However, most men would rather be with a 7 that is family oriented, that is easy to live, that this person is his biggest fan, than being with a 9 or a 10 that do not have these attributes. Because at the end of the day, long term requires much more than just physical attraction. As an individual, you're going to spend so much time with your wife that physical attraction is not necessarily the primary attribute when choosing a long-term wife. You can take the example of Pierce Brosnan, who is actually married to an average woman. Despite being successful, most men do not like headache. Most men want to live peaceful lives. And the number 5 is the science. It is actually supported by the science. It is a huge advantage for men to sleep with lots of different women from a pure evolutionary psychology perspective. They increase greatly their chance of having offsprings. And the cost for them is actually quite minimal because they do not run into a risk of being pregnant. They do not run into a risk of childbearing. Men today can even do much more than just having different partners if they want to. When men do not have any type of moral compass, that's what they are going to do. They're going to sleep with lots of different women and have so many kids, if it wasn't for the state with the child support. The second reason from a scientific perspective is what we call the paternity fraud. So many men are afraid of being cuckolded. It means that raising kids that are not genetically their kids. According to the statistic, between 1% and 30% of fathers are raising kids that are not their kids, and they are not even aware of it. So in order to prevent such situation, a lot of men will decide to just go and sleep with other women so they can ensure that they have more chance to spread their genetic potential. And similarly, according to evolutionary psychology books, men have developed a willingness for novelty. And apparently, when a man will sleep with a different partner, the sperm count that will generate will be much higher than if it is with the same partner. At the end of the day, as a man, I do not recommend to sleep around. I do not recommend to be promiscuous because you're going to spend a lot of your time and attention on activities that are not conducive to your success. Always trying to chase girls is not the solution. You will always lose money chasing women. You will never lose women chasing money. And the biggest impact of such environment is that a lot of women are under the impression that they can secure a high value man because they have slept with that man. And as I discussed earlier, most men do not want to secure this type of woman, especially if they have the choice. As a man, always work on your purpose. Always become better every single day. If you want to join a group of men that are extremely ambitious, like-minded individuals that are thriving to success, join our locals and our brotherhood groups. Click in the link in the description below. If you're looking for a woman that is going to be amazing, that is a high value woman, marriage material, I recommend you to click on this video where you're going to have the tips to how to find this type of woman.